Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to speak about Barcelona getting back 3 total players after the international break, and that is Raphinha, Lamine Yamal, and Fermín López. It states here according to Sport that Raphinha, Lamine Yamal, and Fermín López are expected to be back for the game against Girona after the international break, which is huge news and great news for Hansi Flick. I'm also going to give out a bonus player that I think could really help Hansi Flick's Barca, and that is going to be Roony Bardghji, and I'm going to be explaining why. But to start things off, I do think that Hansi Flick is under pressure. And I say that because with Raphinha, Lamine Yamal, and Fermín López coming back, you must get the 11 correct. You must start bringing in results. Having 2 losses in the past 2 games is not a good look, and now knowing they're going to be having your A-game players return, we're going to expect for you to win. And Flick has to go to the drawing board. What is the strongest 11? Yes, we still don't have Gavi. Yes, we still don't have Joan Garcia. But with Fermín, Yamal, and Raphinha, that's really going to do it. There is so much that Flick has to think about over the international break. Flick did admit before the game over Sevilla that he wasn't really sure when Yamal would return, and even said that he could even miss the match against Real Madrid on October 26th. However, I think that Flick is only saying that because he wants to be very cautious on what he does say. He does not want to give out false hope to the media and to the fans and say that yes, Yamal is going to be returning after the international break. Everything is going to be step by step, and I do think that with Yamal resting for the next 2 weeks, yes, I also do see Lamine Yamal returning for the match against Girona. But when we do see Lamine Yamal return and he does end up playing some minutes against Girona, I don't expect him to play the whole 90-minute match, nor am I not going to see Yamal play consistently 90-minute matches for the rest of this month. When he does make that return for the match against Girona, from there, his minutes are going to have to be carefully managed and managed responsibly. And the only way Flick can do that is if he does know that he has great backup options that can be great attacking threats. And that's the reason why I think that it's time for Roony Bardghji. Roony Bardghji is a player that can bring great quality on the right wing position. Roony Bardghji, to me, I would just say is another player that is going to be returning after the international break. Not because he's injured, but I think that he's going to be hitting a moment in these last 2 to 3 months. When Roony Bardghji was making those appearances against Sevilla, PSG, and Real Sociedad, he really did impress me. Even though Barcelona overall were underwhelming, Roony Bardghji was the main attacking threat and really daring, really always trying to take on players. Regardless whoever it was, Roony Bardghji was looking for the goal. And you can just feel that in any moment within the next couple of weeks, Roony Bardghji is going to blossom. He is going to come up and he is going to be getting that goal. And ideally, I would like to see Lamine Yamal start against Girona. However, I would like to also see Lamine Yamal get taken off at halftime and have Roony Bardghji come in and rotate heavily. And with him being more involved into the game, I don't ever want to see an attacking setup where we have Ferran Torres and Lewandowski starting together. I think that that has to go out the window. I think that we have to move away from that. I mean, obviously, if Raphinha and Rashford and Roony Bardghji and whatever, and we have another injury crisis and we see all of them leave the squad list because of injuries, then yes, Ferran Torres and Lewandowski have to start up top. But with all of these players all being available again together, we must always say that having 2 dynamic wingers is a must. Let's have Rashford and Roony Bardghji, or we can have Raphinha and Roony Bardghji on the right, or Lamine Yamal on the right, Raphinha on the left, or let's have Rashford on the left, Raphinha on the right. Always have 2 dynamic wingers no matter what. And whoever's up top is up top. Whether it's Lewandowski or Ferran Torres, it does not matter. But 2 dynamic wingers is something that Hansi Flick has been missing in his past few matches. I would say that Roony Bardghji's game is good, but it can be improved. Like for example, his final ball is really not that great. I think that he still needs to improve on those key passes. But the good news here is even though his final ball is not that great, it does not lower his confidence because he does play without fear. He does get into situations where he can score goals or bring an assist. You can tell that Flick truly has an effect on him. You look at somebody like Ferran Torres who goes on the wings. Sometimes he does not have those capabilities to take on players and be daring, play without fear, and shoot the ball. Roony Bardghji does. So I'm happy to say that we can finally really put our bets on Roony Bardghji, Raphinha, Marcus Rashford, and Lamine Yamal all together and just say, let's pick all of these 4 attackers to play in this game. Let's rotate heavily. Let's have all of them get into goal scoring positions. So ideally, this is how I would like to see FC Barcelona move for the next 3 matches after the international break. I would like to see a backline of Jules Koundé on the right back position, Eric Garcia and Cubarsí center back pairing with Balde on the left back position, and then we have Frankie and Pedri within the double pivot positions, Fermín López as our number 10 because bro, I miss this player. And yes, I do not want to see Dani Olmo get any minutes because I do think that he does deserve to be on the bench, not because I hate him or because I'm trying to act immature. I'm just saying this is how Flick treats his players. If you are underwhelming and you don't perform, you're gonna have to be on the bench and somebody's gonna take your spot. It's that simple. It happened to Raphinha, it happened to Yamal, it happened to Rashford, it happened to Koundé, it happened to Eric, it happened to Cubarsí, it happened to Araujo, you name it. It happened to everybody. With Olmo, it's no different. So I want to see Fermín return to the starting 11 and play between Yamal and Raphinha with Rashford as the number 9. And I know that this is where it gets very questionable, and I really want to ask you guys a question, right? Like, do you guys agree with this 11? 11? Do you guys agree with having Marcus Rashford in the striker position? Because I was really thinking about that. I'm like, does it make sense for us to have Rashford on the striker position when we know that he has been killing it on the left? However, Raphinha is too good to be taken off from the left wing position as well. And I also want to reward Marcus Rashford for the amount of goals and assists that he has brought in the past 6 matches. We have talked about his rise. I don't want to see Marcus Rashford on the bench. I want to see him on the pitch. I want to see him score goals. I want to see him click with Yamal and Raphinha, something that we have not yet seen. I know that Rashford has talked about how he does not really like the number 9 position because he barely sees the ball. He wants to be more of the creative output and find those key passes, make those dribbles down the line. However, I just cannot see Rashford on the bench. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Lewandowski go up top and start with Yamal and Raphinha when we know that we have Marcus Rashford who has been firing on all cylinders. Maybe we can have an 11 with Raphinha on the number 10 position and Rashford on the left wing position with Lewandowski up top or Ferran Torres up top. However, I don't know if Raphinha is capable to play as a 10. So far, it has not worked out. We saw it earlier in the season. We thought that it could work. In theory, it did. But when we saw him struggle in tight spaces, struggle to be that creative outlet to Yamal or any other winger that he was playing next to, we're like, okay, he's a little underwhelming. Fermin is good at that. Fermin is really good. Like, Fermin can be that guy that can just go box to box. I don't care. I'm receiving the ball and I'm shooting the ball and I'm going to score a goal. But Raphinha does not have that capacity. I think that he's much more of a player who enjoys running into that open space when receiving a long ball. So I don't know, but I would like to see Rashford, Yamal, and Raphinha work together, and I want to see Fermín López get some minutes, which is why I do have an 11 like this. And I know that you might also question, what about Araujo? Like, why isn't Araujo in the defensive line? I just think that Eric Garcia deserves it. Eric Garcia and Kobarsi, when paired together, is the most ideal when we are getting pressed at the back, and many teams are starting to do that. They are figuring us out, and they know that they can force us on making errors at the back and misplacing passes, and Araujo is very prone to that. But with Eric Garcia and Kobarsi, we have a much better chance of succeeding and to get away from that first line of press and go into the midfield and look for passing lanes. Eric Garcia has done a lot so far in this season, and he does deserve to be a starter. But that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.